So just a bit ago, Chief U.S. District Judge James E. Boasberg in Washington, D.C. took the extraordinary step of finding probable cause to initiate criminal contempt proceedings against Trump administration officials. The reason for this? A blatant refusal to comply with his March 15th court order halting the deportation of Venezuelan migrants under the Alien Enemies Act of 1798. Specifically, Boasberg had ordered that 2 deportation flights already en route to El Salvador be turned around. The administration ignored that directive. The flights continued and over 130 Venezuelan nationals were transferred to El Salvador's infamous terrorism confinement center, CICOT. The original court order stemmed from a lawsuit filed by the ACLU and Democracy Forward. The plaintiffs, representing Venezuelan migrants, argued that the Trump administration's use of the Alien Enemies Act, a centuries-old statute meant for wartime threats, was an unconstitutional overreach. The administration invoked the law to justify expedited deportations of alleged gang members with minimal due process. Judge Boasberg viewed this as a due process violation, issued a temporary restraining order, and made it clear that it applied to all migrants and any planes already in the air. Despite this, the administration failed to act. Boasberg's opinion details how officials had time and opportunity to comply or seek clarification, but instead moved ahead with the removals anyways. He called the administration's behavior a, quote, willful disregard for his order and accused them of acting in bad faith, citing how deportations were deliberately rushed within hours of the court's rulings. He also voiced deep frustration at the Justice Department for failing to identify who specifically made the call to proceed despite his court order, pointing to a broader lack of transparency and accountability. Boasberg is now initiating proceedings to determine whether individuals will be held in criminal contempt. That process could involve sworn testimony, declarations, and subpoenas. He is also still weighing a preliminary injunction that would more permanently block deportations under the Alien Enemies Act unless individuals can challenge their alleged gang affiliations. But don't get too excited here about these guys facing criminal charges, as Trump could pardon anyone involved, including himself, since presidential pardons do apply to federal criminal contempt charges and don't require a conviction. So he could actually just pardon them in advance. This is where civil contempt could play a part, as those civil penalties are not pardonable. That being said, the Justice Department under Trump's lackey Pam Bondi can apply pressure to the court as well. However, they may get little support from a Supreme Court that Trump continues to defy as well. Beyond the legal mechanisms here, the optics are becoming politically radioactive. Extrajudicial deportations bordering on human trafficking are getting even Republicans fired up in their town halls. Defying a federal court while deporting vulnerable migrants to a facility known for human rights abuses plays directly into critics that say Trump's immigration agenda is not just hardline, it's reckless and lawless and falls under the umbrella of authoritarianism, where the executive seems to sit above the judiciary instead of a separate but equal branch. This episode could very well become the defining controversy of the midterm elections, one that may pit the rule of law against executive overreach and exposes the human cost of Trump's political theater.